You know the sound, right? That whirring, the clicks, the whole symphony of electronic noise. You pull the lever or you hit that button, and the reels just dissolve into a blur. And then for just a split second, you see it. Two jackpot symbols line up perfectly, and the third one just stops, one spot away. Oh, that feeling of being so close. You can practically taste the win. But here's the thing. Was that moment just a random fluke? A near victory in a totally fair game? Or was that feeling of almost the entire point from the very beginning? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out today. And the answer is buried deep, deep inside the machine's code. Okay, so let's get into it. To really understand the near miss, we have to unfold the machine itself. We're going to peel back that flashy, glittery exterior to find the ghost in the machine, the hidden tech that's powering this whole illusion. So the first thing you've got to understand is that what you see is absolutely not what you get. Over on the left, you've got the physical reels, the spinning strips of cherries and bells that you're actually looking at. Now, on an old-school mechanical machine, you could kind of calculate your odds. But modern machines, they run on something totally different. This massive, invisible map of possibilities called a virtual reel. This right here, this technology, it completely changed the game. It was patented way back in 1984 by an inventor named Inge Telmes. And it works like this. A random number generator, an RNG, isn't picking a symbol, no. It's picking a number from a gigantic list. That's the virtual reel. And that number just tells the physical reel where it needs to stop. Now, this one idea made huge multi-million-dollar jackpots possible, but it also opened the door for something way, way sneakier. And here it is. This is the trick, right out in the open. On the physical reel, the one you're watching, there's one jackpot symbol and one blank space right next to it. They look like they have an equal chance, right? But behind the scenes on that invisible virtual reel, the jackpot symbol might only correspond to one number, while that unlucky blank space next to it, it could correspond to 20 or even more numbers. And boom, there's the result. Because that blank space next to the jackpot is so heavily weighted, the random number generator is just way, way more likely to land on it. The math is literally engineered so that a heartbreaking almost win, with the jackpot just teasing you from above or below the line, shows up maybe 10 times more often than an actual jackpot. The truth is, you were never close. The machine was designed to make you miss. So here's the absolute kicker. All that spinning, it's just theater. The moment you press that button, the RNG has already picked a number. Your fate is sealed. Your timing, how hard you press the button, whether you have a lucky charm, none of it matters. The rest is just a performance, a show put on to make you feel like you almost had it. So how does this clever bit of engineering actually work on us so well? Well, it's built to exploit a very specific feature of the human brain. So now let's unfold a different kind of paper model, the one inside our own heads, to see why this illusion is just so powerful. See, our brains are wired for a world where you learn from your mistakes, a world of skill, not a world of pure random chance. Think about it. If an early human threw a spear at a mammoth and just barely missed, that's incredibly useful information. It tells the brain, hey, you're getting close, just adjust your aim a little. The brain actually rewards that near miss as progress. But when you take that same wiring and drop it in front of a slot machine, it becomes a trap, because the brain can't tell the difference. And scientists have actually watched this happen. Using brain scans, they've seen that a near miss doesn't light up the parts of your brain that process loss. No, instead, it fires up the exact same reward circuitry as an actual genuine win, especially in an area called the ventral striatum. At the same time, another part, the interior insula, translates that visual closeness into a feeling of progress, creating this almost irresistible urge to just try one more time. And the near miss has this sneaky cousin called the loss disguised as a win, or an LDW. A near miss is when you clearly lose, but it feels good and makes you want to correct your mistake. An LDW is, say when you bet $1, you win back 40 cents and the machine goes absolutely bonkers with lights and celebratory sounds, all to mask the fact that you just lost 60 cents. Both are designed to do one thing, keep you in that chair. And this whole thing gets put on steroids when we feel like we're in charge. It's called the illusion of control, that feeling that our actions, pulling the lever just right, hitting the button at the perfect time, actually matter. This feeling is what supercharges the near-miss effect. Our brain becomes even more convinced that we were almost skillful enough to win, instead of it just being random math. And this kicks off what psychologists call a counterfactual thinking loop.
It goes like this. First, the near miss happens. Immediately, you think, if only I had waited just one more second. Then, your brain takes that as a sign that you're getting better at this game. And finally, the motivation to spin again, to finally nail it, becomes incredibly strong.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. This psychological hack doesn't just exist inside a single machine. It's the engine at the very heart of a much bigger system, the entire casino floor. It's an architecture of attraction, designed to amplify these effects on a massive, massive scale. And right here, these are the consequences. That near-miss effect is designed to keep you playing longer. And this data is, well, it's pretty chilling. Just look at the direct link between how long people play and how much money they lose. Of the people who lost over £1,000, a staggering 96% of them had been playing for over an hour. The near miss keeps you in the chair, and the chair is where the mathematical house edge just slowly grinds you down. And all of this is reinforced by the environment itself. Casino floors are often built like mazes, with no clear path to the door. You'll notice there are no windows and no clocks, which totally disconnects you from the real world and the passage of time. The ambient sounds, the way the machines are placed, the constant lights celebrating even those tiny net losses, it is all a carefully engineered ecosystem designed to get you into a flow state and keep you there. So let's tie all of this together. After our journey into the machine, into the human brain, and across the entire casino floor, we arrive at one simple, really powerful conclusion about the house's edge. You've heard the saying, right? The house always wins. And it's true, but not for the reason most of us think. The house doesn't win because it's luckier than you are. The house wins because it has meticulously engineered every single part of the experience, from the math on the microchip to the pattern on the carpet, to guarantee a predictable and very profitable outcome. And if you want the smoking gun, this is it. Every single slot machine is built from a blueprint called the Probability Accounting Report, or a PAR sheet. This is the classified document where the designers detail the exact weighting of every virtual stop. They don't just hope you get a near miss. They calculate the exact frequency of near misses they need to keep you hooked, maximizing what the industry calls time on device, all while guaranteeing the house a precise profit. So the next time you see a slot machine, you'll know the real game isn't happening on those flashy reels. It's happening between the machine's programming and your brain's ancient wiring. Which kind of leaves us with one final thought. Now that you can recognize the architecture of the almost win, where else in your life do you see it? Think about the design of your social media feeds, the notifications on your apps, the ghost in the machine. Well, it's everywhere.